Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Today's video kicks off with a classic case of big mouth, cold food, where patience is a virtue, but rudeness gets you a lukewarm meal. But before we begin, best way to support our channel is to leave comments, like, and subscribe with a turned-on bell so you don't miss the new video every single day. Here we go. Talk to me like rubbish? Wait extra time for your mayo chicken. Throw back a decade. I was much younger, 18 years old at the time, and working at McDonald's on weekends for extra cash. At 10:30 a.m., we changed from breakfast menu to main menu, and there was typically a few minutes of blind panic where there was a slightly longer wait for food. 10:20 a.m., in comes this meathead who still looks half PO'd from the previous night and orders 3 mayo chickens. I inform him we'll only be able to start cooking them at 10:30 as fryers are in use for breakfast items for another 10 minutes. He says okay, pays his $2.97, and wait at a table. Worth saying at this point, it's a heaving Saturday morning, the first one after payday. Not even 5 minutes later, he comes up to me and says/shouts in a thick Scouse accent, "Oi, what have you been doing giving him his food before mine? I've been waiting here way longer." I inform him that customer had ordered off the breakfast menu, which we had ready to hand out. He looks PO'd but nods at me. 10:30 on the dot, when I told him the chicken would be put down, he barges past other customers in the queue and gets up in my face, almost shouting now, "Where the F are my mayo chickens? You're taking the effing pee now." I tell him his food is being cooked, to stop swearing at me, and that it'll be literally 2 minutes. He continues, "This isn't effing good enough. No wonder you work at McDonald's when you can't even cook a chicken burger." This sentence in Scouse was hilarious. I tell him to stop shouting and wait in line or I'll cancel his order and refuse service. He just says, "F's sake," and audibly mutters "C" under his breath. At this point, I see 3 mayo chickens come sliding down the chute, and I just leave them. I left them there for an extra 5 to 6 minutes till I knew they'd go a bit more lukewarm while I started serving another customer. He tried to kick off, but I think he soon realized the more he did so, the longer he'd be waiting. And that's it, my pettiest of petty revenge. They say revenge is best served cold, but I guess in this case, lukewarm will do just fine too. Honestly though, I love how he tried to roast you for working at McDonald's while he was literally so desperate for 3 bargain bin chicken burgers that he lost his mind over a 10-minute wait. And our second story. Ma'am, I'm not a mind reader. Stand in the right line. I work at an ice cream shop where people tell me what ice cream they want and what toppings to be put on. If someone would order, they'd have to stand by the ice cream to start. Sometimes people start by our registers, so we also ask if people need help over there if they look like they haven't been helped. Unfortunately, the star of our story didn't do either of these. This happened yesterday. The store was extremely busy with us having a line that never ended. When things get like this, it's hard to keep track of who came first, so we rely on the customers to help us by staying by the ice cream when they haven't had their order taken and to move down when they have been helped. Since the store's a little bit understaffed, I was working with 2 trainees who didn't have much experience with working with a long line, so I was a little stressed having to help them with their questions while also working with the customers I had. So the line was dying down a little bit with about 3 groups in line. I had just finished up with a group on the register and looked at the line to see who needed help. My 2 other coworkers were both getting ice cream, and I saw 2 groups standing away from the ice cream, so I assumed both were being helped. When I went to the 3rd group, I greeted them and asked what they would like. That's when I noticed the 2nd group, namely the woman, staring daggers at me. Knowing this look, because our system isn't 100% foolproof, I figured that she hadn't been helped yet. I whispered to my coworkers that she needed to be helped. I took an order, and my other coworker who had finished up with her group took the other order. So I make the ice cream and run to the back to grab some items we're out of. When I come back out, the woman's at the register, and I see my other coworker is helping her. I jump on the register to ring her up because I knew she would be upset. Before I could even say hello to her, she said, "You skipped us. We," gesturing to her young daughter, "have been waiting." Having dealt with customers like this before, I say as sincere as possible, "I'm so sorry about that. We usually serve people at our ice cream case rather than where you were standing." I realize it might have sounded a little rude, but at this point, I wasn't in my customer service mode due to all the other customers that had worn me down. I tell her the total and she snarks back at me saying she wanted a water bottle. I add a water to her order and tell her new total, $7.65. She handed me $6 that I counted multiple times because her total was over $7 and I thought that I just couldn't count. Then I said, "Oh, you handed me $6. I'll just need $1.65. I see that she's reaching for more money from her wallet, so I just wait patiently while she says, "I know, I'm getting it." Her daughter hands her $2 and she snatches it out of her hand and whips them towards me. I pick them up off the counter and recount the money quietly under my breath, so now I have $8. When I finish counting the money, she yells, "I want $1 in quarters back." I was a little confused because she'd only handed me $8. I replied to her, out of $8, as in she was paying with 8, and I pressed the button on the register so it would open and I could give her her change. When I handed her back 35 cents, she started arguing with me that she wanted $1 back in quarters. When I told her that she only gave me $8, she then said, "No, I gave you 6, and then handed you 2, and cut herself off when she realized her mistake. Rather than apologize for her mistake, she again threw $1 at me. It fell between the wires for the screen to the register, and she started huffing at me like it was my fault that I couldn't catch $1 that I didn't even know was coming my way. I took the $1 and made change for her. Before she left the register, she turned to her daughter and said, "I should have counted it in front of her face," in a nasty voice that made me so angry that I almost commented back. She walked out, and I rung up the original group that I was helping. They were a bit more quieter at this point because of what happened. They paid and left immediately. I felt bad for them because they had to watch it. When I went to the back room to find my 2 coworkers hiding because they'd never dealt with an angry customer before today, we had 2 previous to this one, and they were a bit nervous. At the end of the night, when I counted down the drawer, we were only missing a penny, which I find is a win because of how busy we were and that 4 of us total were using the same register all day. If I'm being honest, I never saw her come in, and I don't know why she got the impression that she would be helped when it looked like she already was being helped. How sad is this lady's life when ice cream, one of the greatest inventions of the modern world, can't make her happy for a few moments? Also, if she had counted it in front of your face, she'd have proven herself wrong faster. Either way, she's an old evil bat. I feel bad for the daughter. And our next story. Can you call a manager? I am the manager. I'm the manager of a small family-owned boutique, and since we're a small business, we don't have the same return policy as, say, Walmart. For that reason, we have our return policy posted at the register and on our receipts. All our clearance items have a red sale tag on them and can't be returned for a full refund, but can be exchanged for other items or store credit. Today, a lady came in to exchange a clearance item for a non-sale item that was about $10 cheaper. Me. Does the return and rings up the new blanket. "Okay, there's a $10 difference. Do you want that put on an account as store credit, or did you want to purchase something else with it?" Customer. "I want it put back on my card." Me. "I'm sorry, but we can't refund it to a card since the blanket you purchased was a sale item." Customer. "Why?" Me. "It's our store policy that sale items can't be returned for a full refund, but they can be exchanged for other items or store credit." Customer. "What? But I didn't use it. You can see it's still in the bag with the receipt." Me. "Yes, I know you didn't use it, but that's not why we can't do a full refund. It's because it's a sale item." Customer. "Well, you should have told me that when I bought it." Me. "We have it written on our return policy right here," points to the printed return policy right in front of her face. Customer. "You expect people to read that?" Me. "Yes." Customer. "Even if I did read that, it says floor models, special orders, and clearance items. It doesn't say sale items." Me. "Our clearance items are the ones with the sale tags on them. They're the same thing." Customer. "No, they're not." Me. "Yes, they are." Customer. "No, they're not. I've been around a few years and they're not." Me. "Well, they are here." Customer. "Oh, so now you're making up your own rules. Can you call a manager?" Me. "I am the manager." Customer. "Oh, of course you're the manager. How do you expect people to keep shopping here if the customer service is terrible?" Me. "Sorry, I didn't make the store policy. I just have to follow it." Customer. "Well, you tell whoever's in charge they need to change some things." Me. "Okay, I'll let the owner know you don't like our store policy." So did you want this put on an account to store credit? Customer: No, I don't need anything else. Just give me a voucher or something and I'll give it to someone. What a waste of money. Me: Okay, here's a gift certificate for $10. Sorry about that. Customer mumbles something angrily and walks out. Edit: I forgot to mention the item she had originally bought was 50% off and left over from our summer clearance sale. When I read the title of your story, I imagined Karen as Maleficent in dragon form, but with the Karen hairdo, sunglasses, and breathing fire. I imagined you carrying a sword and a shield crying out, "I am the manager!" I know, my imagination's stupidly weird. And our last story. Imagine coming home and a cop won't let you in your own driveway. So I just moved into a new house that I'm renting. It's on a busy street with a low speed limit in a busy city in Pennsylvania, and it's a well-known street for speed traps. I got home a couple days ago to find a police officer parked in my driveway right at the end so that I couldn't pull in. I honked at him, and instead of moving his car, he got out and talked to me and threatened to ticket me for blocking the street. I responded saying that I lived at this address and that I couldn't pull into my driveway, then asked him to leave. He told me that the landlord had given the department permission to use the driveway to shoot radar and also as a place to park while enforcing traffic during the Sunday rush of traffic from the church across the street. This was never stipulated in my lease or mentioned by the landlord, whose husband was a cop, I think. So I had to go find, then pay for city parking 1.1 miles away, then walk back to my house, then walk and get my car again hours later when the officer left. Parking cost me $11.63, and I intend to get every penny back. That's how angry this situation has made me. While the officer was still parked there, I called the landlord, who didn't answer, still hasn't called me back days later despite repeated phone calls. This morning, I woke up to go to class. I walked out to my car to find the same officer parked in the driveway. I asked him to move, and he told me, I do not have to move as I have permission to park here from the property owner. I asked for and received his badge number, called the police, non-emergency number, and was transferred from one person to another without getting any answers. I missed my class. I don't know for sure that there were cops in my driveway this past Sunday to park their cruisers to control church traffic. I was at a friend's house, but I think that's unreasonable that they are allowed to do that. Why can't they just park at the church? This is infuriating to me. Nowhere in the lease, I've read it 4 times, is it stipulated that the police can use the driveway. On top of all this, I'm really uncomfortable having the police in the driveway all the time. I'm doing nothing wrong, I just feel like my privacy is being invaded. Update: I got a security camera system in the mail from Amazon today and set it up this afternoon looking at my driveway. I also got a call back, finally, from my landlord just 20 minutes ago. She's an older woman and used the excuse that she's not good with technology as a reason for not getting back to me for 4 days. Oh, crap. But that's not really that big of a deal. She said that she had allowed one of her husband's friends permission to sit there while the house was unrented for the past couple of months and totally forgot about it. She said she'd contact him and ask him to stop. Update 2. My landlady's giving me a month of free rent, I have it in writing, for the trouble and to reimburse me for the parking, missed class, and so on. Hoping I never have to be bothered with something as idiotic as this again, but if I do, now I have a camera and know what to do. Alright, this is beyond ridiculous. You're renting a house, not a police station annex. Basically, he turned your private property into his parking space and speed trap zone without your permission, and then have the gall to threaten you when you try to access your own home? Nah, that's some entitlement mixed with a power trip. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.